True happiness. What if happiness wasn't something that you had to chase, but something that shows up when you start living on purpose? In this video, we explore the deeper truth behind what we call true happiness, why surface level comfort keeps us stuck, and how small intentional actions shift everything. It's not about fireworks or big wins. It's about momentum, alignment, and becoming who you're really meant to be. Ready to stop settling for passive joy and start building a life that lights you up? Let's dive in. Hi friends, I'm Scott, and I welcome you to be one with me as we journey together to be the best we can. What is true happiness? Finding out that we're not living up to our true potential is something we naturally resist, especially when we've become what people call creatures of habit. Yeah, but what if our habits could work for us instead of against us? The truth is, we should be creatures of habit, habits that bring us closer to true happiness. And that only happens when we stop repeating the patterns that hold us back and have the courage to change. When we're willing to go with the flow, to let go of what no longer serves us and do something that feels worthwhile and purposeful, we start to stepping into who we're really meant to be. And when we stop to examine the difference between passive happiness and true happiness, we often realize that some of the most fulfilling things we've ever done didn't feel significant at the time. We may not have known it then, but those were the moments when we were really most alive, most aligned. Passive happiness is temporary. It comes from distractions or quick fixes. True happiness runs deeper. So what's stopping us from recognizing it, embracing it, and living in that state more often? Usually it's because we're not paying attention. We ignore the inner voice, the one that knows when something feels right or not. Deep down, we always know when we're off. When we're off course, off kilter. Just like we know when we're aligned and doing something that genuinely lights us up. Have you ever asked yourself, or am I really happy, or am I just comfortable? What patterns am I repeating that no longer serve me? What does it feel like when I'm aligned with my purpose? So much has been written about intuition, inspiration, and karma, but what ties them all together is the understanding that our actions have long-lasting effects. When we become aware of the energy we're putting into the world, we naturally get closer to the collective force that we're all a part of. And when we tap into that connection, we find that our happiness isn't just about us, it's about how we relate to everything and everyone around us. This deeper connection is a key part of true happiness, and it only becomes accessible when we're moving in the direction of growth, meaning, and love. And because let's face it, one of the things we all crave in this life is relationships that feel real, joyful, and fulfilling. My videos are here to help you do just that, to move forward with clarity in your life and your relationships. It's about recognizing the good you already have and knowing how to attract more of what you want. True happiness doesn't need to be justified. We owe it to ourselves and to the people in our lives to live full, vibrant lives. When we align with true happiness and what brings us true happiness, we become better partners, better friends, better humans. People are drawn to us not because we're trying to be anything other than who we are, but because our energy feels good we're good to be around. What relationships in your life feel truly joyful and fulfilling? Are you willing to let go of what no longer serves you, even if it's familiar? So why does it matter to understand the difference between passive happiness and true happiness? Because once we get clear on it, we stop chasing empty pleasures and start making intentional moves toward the life we're meant to live. When our actions come from a place of honesty and love, things tend to flow better. We're more focused, more energized, and we even enjoy the process more. That's when things happen faster, more effortlessly, and with a lot more joy. Where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? What does true happiness look like in your life and for you right now? True happiness is within reach for all of us. It usually shows up when we're taking steps, small or big, towards something that truly matters to us. It's in the momentum, in the progress, in the purpose. When we build a life around those kinds of actions, we naturally start to have the relationships, results, and the feelings we're after. Happiness becomes part of who we are. It becomes steady and dependable, like our breath or our heartbeat. When we live from that place, we can share that joy more freely, and we're more likely to stay in that state longer. But here's another key. True happiness depends on a holistic approach. Every area of our life feeds into others. It's easier to work on a relationship when your health is in a good place. It's easier to crush a work project when your home life feels peaceful. When we're working on ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, everything starts aligning, you know. And when we realize that, even our to-do list items can be infused with purpose. It starts working with us. The more we focus on doing meaningful things with intention, the more the universe seems to send support our way. What's one area of your life, mind, body, or spirit, that could use more attention? Are your daily actions aligned with the kind of life you want to create? Relationships especially can be better than we ever imagined if we're willing to look honestly at what we want, what we can do, and what's out of our control. Taking action in just one area, no matter how small, creates that movement. It creates hope, and that hope can carry us when life gets hard. Finding true happiness often happens in the in-between moments when we're doing something worthwhile with purpose. And we're not even trying to be happy. That's the paradox. The more we chase happiness directly, the more it slips through our fingers. Why? Because passive happiness feels good for a moment, but when it fades, we're left with dis-ease. That's why I like to say I don't seek happiness, it seeks me. And one of the most underrated skills is to just be okay with feeling happy. We're taught to expect fireworks, but true happiness is usually more like that soft glow of a candle, not a blinding spotlight. If we're only looking for happiness and the extreme highs, we'll miss out on the peaceful joy that's right in front of us every single day. Do you allow yourself to feel happiness when it's present? Or do you sabotage it by expecting more? What small, consistent actions bring you joy? When we do things that bring us closer to the life we want, no matter how small, we do build momentum. And that momentum creates moments of joy, fulfillment, and yes, true happiness. Recognizing those moments takes practice. But once you start to see clearly when you're in alignment, you can ride that wave and let it inspire your next move. So yeah, it's simple in theory. True happiness comes from doing something worthwhile with purpose. But we all know it's really not that simple. There's more to it. That's why we're talking about what it really means to be happy. You've got to know that yourself, what makes you tick, what uh, throws you off and what lights you up if you want to create a life that feels whole. To be truly happy, we have to put ourselves first, not in a selfish way, but in a soul first way. When we take regular time to clear our thoughts, ground our energy, and simply be with ourselves, everyone benefits. Our minds are sharper, our patience is stronger, and our actions are more aligned. The people around us will feel the difference. The quality of your attention becomes one of your greatest gifts. What's one practice that you can do this week to ground your energy and clarify your purpose? True happiness is not dependent on the outside world. It comes from within. It's about how we perceive what's happening, not just what's happening even when things seem rough. We can shift how we look at them, and that shift can change everything. It doesn't mean we pretend life is always good. It means we practice finding the good that's already there. Think of the worst imaginable thing. For me, it's the death of a child. It's hard, almost impossible to find anything good in that. But sometimes in time, we realize that even from unimaginable loss, lessons are born. Maybe others are saved. Maybe awareness grows. Maybe something meaningful comes out of the pain. We don't have to justify the pain. We just have to survive it, learn from it, and eventually move forward. We all need time to grieve, and there's no timeline on that. But at some point, we begin to rebuild. And that's where knowing what we want, who we love, and what matters most helps take us to the next step. Even one small action can have a positive, in a positive direction, can lift our spirit. And that, my friends, is the beginning of true happiness. It's never about putting all your eggs in one basket. Life will always throw us curveballs. But if we're grounded in purpose and flexible in our thinking, we'll find joy even in hard seasons. And yes, you can experience both happiness and passive happiness at the same time. Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video, and let me know in the comments about your views for attaining true happiness in your life. Visit beonewithme.com. More is coming from the heart for the soul. And check out one of these videos. Remember, a smile can make someone's day, and the right words may change their life. I love you. Be you. Be one with me.